Hola, Farmsteaders.
Hola.
We are Mac.
And Jose.
And welcome back to Yooper Country Farms.
Yeah, welcome back.
We're back in our office here. And today, we want to make a video about the 10 things we learned our second year farming.
Yeah.
So we did one of these last year, Jose. The 10 things we learned our
first year
farming.
Yeah.
So now we have 2 years under our belt. And I think this is going to be a never-ending process of learning when you're farming.
Yeah.
So number one, Jose, is something that we talked about last year with infrastructure.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think we really learned our lesson. Or maybe this was a new lesson to be learned. Number one is irrigation.
Yeah, last year we say, we need a better system, we need an irrigation system.
Yes, and so we bought drip irrigation last year.
Yeah.
Because we said using sprinklers is not going to work for us.
No.
So we switched to drip irrigation, but then when we planted early this season, a lot of crops like onions and radishes and your peas, they get planted before your last frost date. So we didn't put in the irrigation because we couldn't be using it really anyway, just because it would freeze overnight. But then what happened is we got busy and we never put in the irrigation. We were putting in the irrigation for the new beds, never went back and did the irrigation for the other beds. What crop was it that we really screwed up?
Or poor onions.
Yeah, the onions. They did not get enough water when they were bulbing out.
Yeah.
So the year before, we had planted half as many onions, but we got the same level of production that we got last year. And that's brutal. When you're planting, we should have had onions coming out our ears.
Yeah.
But they just didn't bulb. They were... and you can sell a few small onions at the market, but people want their bags of, 2 pounds of onions or 5 pounds of onions.
Yeah, real onion, green onions.
Not the little, not nearly green onions. So yeah, we really screwed that up this last year. And it also affected the beds there where we were planting carrots and salad mix. So we just need to do better.
Yeah.
Coming up. Okay, number 2, we talked about this last year, but I think it'll be something that we're learning every year, and that is weather.
Oh, yeah.
As a farmer, you are really dictated to by the weather.
Yeah, especially here in the UP.
Yes, in the UP. We have a very short growing season, and so this last year... we got hit with some things. Like we got a very early frost. The year before, the frost was extremely late, 4 weeks late. We grew beautiful tomatoes and peppers all through October. As a matter of fact, as a first-year farmer, I was wondering why so many of the other farmers had stopped selling tomatoes. Why? Because they had already pulled their tomato plants and had put in their fall crops. So spinach and their lettuces and, put some kale inside of the hoop house so they could sell it later. And I was like, well, that is just ridiculous. Why would they ever pull out a cash crop like tomatoes? Then last year, we got a frost a week earlier than our last, so 5 weeks earlier than the year before. And I went, oh, they were preparing for this frost.
Yeah.
So lesson learned that we need to be switching into our fall crops even if we're not sure when the last frost is actually going to come. Because another farmer came to our farm last year and she's like, oh, you planted this too late. You planted this too late. You planted this too late. This will do okay. And you have got to be able to sell as early in the season and as late in the season as possible because your time to make money on a farm is extremely small.
Yeah. Here in UP.
Yeah, up here, especially for vegetables.
Yeah.
So we will not, hopefully, make this mistake again. We will be better about it. But what was another, knock on wood, nice. What was another weather event that we had, Jose, that really impacted us mid-season?
We got hail in July, yeah.
Yeah, we got a hailstorm. And I don't know that hail is rare up here.
Sometimes they say maybe you can get the snow in July here.
Yeah, we got home and Jose was looking at some of the rooftops and he's like, why are all the rooftops white? And I was like, oh, that's normal. It's normal. But it wiped out all of our lettuces.
Yeah.
So we lost like 2 to 4 weeks of sales on lettuces because it just destroyed those soft little leaves on those plants. It really slowed down some of our bigger crops like winter squash and melons because we had just put them in the ground, and so the leaves were just little, and it tore them all up. So those plants have to recover from that.
Yeah.
And I think it really slowed down, those plants getting to the height of production when they should have. So, when it happened, wasn't so bad, but it killed our production later in the year when that stuff would have been very important.
Yeah, but another thing.
Yeah. And the last, we also had a very cold summer this year, like a lot cooler. The year before we had a lot of days up in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I don't think we hardly hit 85 the whole this last summer. What is one crop we switched to that made us really good money?
Radishes.
Radishes. A lot of the farmers mid-season don't do a lot of radishes because they don't grow so well in the heat. But we were like, let's just try a bed. And we had beautiful red radishes. And I think because of the time of year, there was almost no bug damage.
No.
We sold so many radishes mid-season.
Yeah.
And it worked out really good because none of the other farmers had the radishes.
Yeah.
So nice job on that, Jose. So that was number 2. Number 3, Jose, was what?
The little evil thing.
Little evil things, yes. Insects. So we are trying to run a chemical-free farm.
Yeah.
We do not use any pesticides. We do not use any herbicides. Mm-hmm. That may come back to bite us at some point. I don't know. I am just kind of a purist, I guess, and I knew when we had the vision of the farm I wanted to use zero chemicals.
Yeah.
We worked on an organic lettuce farm before we started our own farm, and I was shocked how many days a week were they spraying?
I think at least 3 days.
3 days a week.
Yeah.
Spraying the lettuce that we put in our bodies with all kinds of different stuff. I'm sure some of it was a nutrient mix, but some of it, they'd have signs up that you couldn't be in the greenhouse for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, but that doesn't make me happy. So we really are working on not spraying any chemicals on the farm, but that also means we're going to be impacted by insects.
Yeah.
The interesting thing that happened is our first year, we didn't see hardly any birds on the farm. Mm-hmm. This last season, it was like the birds...
Like a part of it.
They came in and saved the day, I think. Uh-huh. The first year we had so many bugs inside of our hoop house that you'd go in there and it was like, because they're all hitting the plastic. This year the birds learned to come in under the ends of the hoop houses and they would clear out all of those bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would come in, they would eat anything that was growing on the plants. It was really interesting. Mm-hmm. The other thing is they used the kale in the garden as kind of a high spot, and they would just go from plant to plant. Then what had happened with our carrots? One planting of carrots.
I don't know. I think it is a mystery we never solved.
Yeah, we didn't ever solve it. We planted a bed of carrots, and we were so proud because we've struggled with carrots. Mm-hmm. We were so proud because the tops were like this big, and you could just see perfect rows of carrots, and we were like, yes, we have solved the carrot problem on the farm. We're going to be able to grow carrots. And I went out one morning and I said to Jose, what happened to the carrots? Like half of the bed of carrots was gone. And then the next night, another quarter of the bed, and the next night, literally the entire bed, every single top gone. We still don't know what it was. People said it could have been grasshoppers. It could have been, mice or something. Who knows? No clue what topped an entire 100-foot bed of carrots.
Yeah.
So insects are going to be a problem. Root maggots were another thing we had problem with. Yeah. Our broccoli and kohlrabi early in the season, they would just flop right over dead. They would be big, beautiful plants, and goodbye, because apparently another farmer schooled us that the root maggots just eat the roots, and goodbye plant. So you can't even see that you have a problem until... Yeah. So some people put, little protectors around the base of the plants to keep the flies from laying their eggs. I don't, when you plant as much as we do, that would be, for a home garden, it might work. I don't know how we would do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're hoping that by being natural, we get a ton of frogs in the garden and toads. We get so many snakes. We're hoping to not have too much of a problem with insects if we allow nature to do what it does.
Yeah, thank you, Mother Nature.
Thank you, yes. Okay, number 4, Jose, we have been on the fence about for now into our second season. So I watched a video the other day that said one of the things successful people have is decisiveness.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think I don't have the decisive gene in my blood. Like, making a decision sometimes is very hard for me. So I end up saying, oh, yeah, let's do it. No, let's don't do it. Let's do it. Let's don't do it. Number 4 is raising meat birds and egg layers here on the farm.
Yeah.
And our meat rabbits. We've been on the fence back and forth. Do it, don't do it. And we said after the first season, we would not have, had we had it to do over again, we wouldn't have done them.
Mm-hmm.
We would have focused on the vegetables solely. And I think if you're a new farm, you want to focus on either the vegetables or the meat your first year.
Yeah.
And then you can add in later as you figure out, what it is you want. It's just too complicated to do them both. So we've decided, because we had already, at the end of the season last year, raised our layers for this next season, that we're going to do eggs again for another year. The decision is made. We're doing them this year. I'm being decisive. Everybody, you hear me out there, I'm being decisive. So number 5 now is to think outside of the box at your markets.
Yeah.
So, having different products and selling another $50 per market can make a big difference, especially in your early years at the market. I think by this next year, we have to start making $1,000 a market. But this last year, we doubled a lot of what we were doing the year before. So we went from $300 to $400 markets to more like $650 to $750 markets. And I really want to be hitting that $1,000 mark, because I think in that case, it'll be like, okay, we can slow down and breathe. So some of the ways that, we were looking for things that we could do that other farms weren't doing. One of them was we sold green garlic.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be pretty popular. Like, people would come back week after week to get our green garlic. It also brought a lot of people to the table. Like, what is that? Because you're selling the whole garlic plant. And it's big and thick.
Yeah.
And so we were doing that. And that made us a good bit of extra money. We sell squash blossoms, which a lot of the other farms don't do. We don't make a lot of extra money, but if we can make an extra $50 selling extra stuff at the market, it's making a difference.
Yeah.
Another thing is your packaging. Like, try some different things. We get into this habit and we go to the market, we do the same thing over and over again. And we were selling our garlic by the bulb, $2 a bulb, and it was selling really good, but not amazing. At the end of the season, I started, because we have a lot of it, so I started selling it in bags. And I was doing the white garlic, the red garlic, and then a bag of mixed. All by the pound, all cost $10. I didn't sell hardly any white, didn't sell hardly any red, but those mixed bags, I was having to make additional bags at the market to be able to sell them. And so then I was taking the garlic out of the other two and putting it into this third bag. And it sold really well. But see, I was selling it I only need to sell 10 of those to make an additional $100 at the market. And I easily hit that at the end of the season last year. And so I'm going to be doing it earlier next year, because obviously people want larger quantities of garlic and they want the mixed, the option of the different garlics. So that was number 5, Jose. Number 6 is get ready for mid-season, because, we may have it slow in the winter here, but the middle of the season, you will be working longer days and 7 days a week. You better be ready and prepared to be working like crazy.
Yeah.
Because, the first year we were farming, I don't know if it was just because we only had 40 beds and we were just trying some things out. I thought, this farming thing, it's not so hard. It's pretty easy. And then this last summer, we hit July, and holy cow, it was... Everything comes together in July. So you are still planting in the greenhouse. You are direct seeding into the garden. You are transplanting into the garden. You have now started weeding much more regularly, because June is still pretty cool up here. The weeds are just starting to get their footing. But by July, man, look out. You're weeding nonstop. You're now harvesting for the farmers markets. You have to go to the farmers markets. We are canning and doing some preserving.
Yeah.
We're still taking care of the animals. We are having to collect eggs and wash eggs. Like everything that you do on the farm happens in July.
Everything combined.
Yeah. And I mean, it goes from you're thinking, oh yeah, in June, you're like, okay, we got a nice rhythm going to July. All hell breaks loose. So I just want, as a farmer, from now on, I'm going to be more prepared for what happens in July and be super prepared and super focused, because for the next 3 months, July, August, and September, you are just running.
Yeah.
But then we get rewarded with this time of year when we're a lot slower.
When doing nothing.
Yeah. So that was number 6. Number 7, Jose, is that we need to be prepared in advance for frost.
Oh, yeah. That was a little mistake we do.
Yeah. So we made a mistake at the beginning of the season, and we made a mistake at the end of the season. So first let's talk about the beginning of the season.
Yep.
At the beginning of the season, we had put in a lot of crops, and then we had a frost warning.
Mm-hmm.
What ended up happening is it was like late in the day when we realized we had a frost warning, and we had to cover all of the beds that we had planted with things like broccoli and kohlrabi and cabbages. All needed to be covered. People will tell you that these cool season crops can handle a mild frost. They can handle a mild frost at the end of the season. They do not handle it very good when they've first been transplanted into the garden.
No.
So be very clear about that. When you first transplant, you want to protect them from the frost, because they'll survive, but it is going to kill you in the amount of time it takes for them to recover.
Yeah.
So the problem was we heard about the frost. Then we had to go out there and do all the hoops. And Jose and I were like, should we do it? Shouldn't we do it? Should we do it? Shouldn't we do it? And by the time we ended up getting it done, we were frustrated. We worked well into the evening to get those covered. And I'm glad we did, because we got a pretty good frost late in the season last year. It was one of the coldest days they'd had in many years, that late in the season. And so luckily we had done that. We also had to double cover everything in the hoop houses.
Yeah.
But then we also got an early frost in the fall.
Another mistake.
Another mistake. Because here we heard that there was a frost warning. And what did we say?
That would be okay.
It's fine.
Yeah. Today was warm.
Yes. There's no chance we can get a frost tonight. Goodbye, some of our crops. We lost a few things that we probably should have protected.
Yeah.
Number 8. And this is for Jose and I, and for all of you people out there that get overly excited, is slow down.
Oh, yeah.
We went from 40 beds to 80 beds. Plus, we are trying to put in a ton of perennials.
Yeah.
But what happened was we put in some expensive perennials that then we didn't take care of.
No.
So we don't even know where the blackberries are now. We put them in the ground, and this spring will tell whether or not they're going to come back. But they got overrun with weeds.
Yeah.
We may have lost our rhubarb because the weeds just got so big. We'll see if the rhubarb comes back this spring. I'd say maybe we wasted $1,000 last year putting in crops that we didn't babysit. And it's just not something you can afford to do. I do believe that every now and then things will fall through the cracks, but there's no use wasting your money.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, going from 40 to 80 beds, I don't know that was that smart.
No, I think I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that happen on the farm that you can't keep control of. Like the weeds, I was overwhelmed most of July and August with the weeds. If you weed and then a week later, it's like, you feel like you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
This year for sure on our melons and our winter squash, we're going to be putting plastic down.
Yeah.
Because it'll just save us so much time. And those crops need warm ground anyway. I'm not a big fan of using plastic, but I'm going to be a fan. All right, so number 9, Jose. Oh, this one. This was something that I understood at the beginning of the season, but later on it slapped me in the face. And that is when you have a CSA and you're running members, you are getting paid in January or February or March, and they are collecting their vegetables in July and August and September. So don't get me wrong, we love our members. We have incredible members. But it is very hard to not be making that additional money at that time of year because you've got all these crops. And I knew that this would be the situation. And still it's hard.
Yeah.
Because I would bring $1,000 in vegetables to the market and come home with $600 in cash. And because the members get their share of vegetables. So yes, we love our members. Thank you so much for being members.
Thank you for your support.
But I just want you to remember that when you're planning your garden, we are making the money early in the season and then not making it later in the season. And that just needs to be something you're prepared for.
Yeah.
Because it can kind of hit you by surprise, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even though we knew it would happen. So the last thing, Jose, number 10, is money.
Yep.
So Jose and I came into this venture with a little bit of money up front. It has helped us get this farm off the ground and started. But that money is gone.
Goodbye.
Yeah, so we have got to get serious about making money here on the farm.
Yeah.
One of the bad things of coming into a project with money is that you have money to spend. And so it's very easy in the beginning to be like, oh, $500 here, $100 there.
Yeah.
You know, oh, a tractor, oh, whatever. You know, we have some other farmers in the area who really can bootstrap.
Yeah.
But we're not very good at bootstrapping. But we're going to have to get there now. Because we've spent so much time in the first 2 years, which this is not a bad thing, putting in infrastructure.
No.
And also putting in a lot of perennials.
Yeah.
We're going to do a few more this year because we see us being farmers and wanting to continue doing this for a lot of years. So we're putting in the things that we know we are going to want to be doing. Fruit trees and bushes, you know, things that come up every year. So we put those in place.
Yep.
But now Jose and I have got to start making a living at this because there is no, you know, wiggle room anymore with money.
Yeah.
Okay, Jose, so that is the 10 things we learned our second year farming.
Yeah, hopefully next year it will be 10 things we do better.
10 things we improved on this season. Oh, that would be a good video.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, hopefully it's not a 10 failure video.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is what it is. Sometimes you do something good, but sometimes no.
Yeah. You learn from your mistakes, right? They make you stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what I want to believe. All right. Anything else?
No, just thank you for watching this video, and if you have experience for, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you have some things to share, some wisdom for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
If you are a farmsteader, a market gardener, you live in or love the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, we hope you will subscribe.
Yeah.
We try to show you the realities of figuring this all out. Okay, again, we are Mac.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it again. Again, we are Mac.
And Jose.
And this is Yooper Country Farms.
Thank you.